Well, it is Slow Down Sunday here on the Sweet Spot. And man, have we had a great week. We've had a fantastic week, haven't we, Sweet Spotters? So, I'm Dr. Derek Sweet. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a board certified psychiatrist. I work with elite performers. But more than that, I really enjoy sitting across from you at the coffee table of life, just figuring out what is this mystery? What is this mystery we call life? And we've been unpacking this mystery with the great Darcel Dillard-Suite this week, our very first guest here on the Sweet Spot. For those of you who know the Sweet Spot, you know that we don't have guests on the Sweet Spot. This is new territory for us, and we're going to be having more guests coming. Darcel is our inaugural guest. She is the queen. She is launching us out. And Darcel, I have to say, this has been one of the most insightful Sweet Spots we have done, thanks to you.
Wow, thank you for those wonderful accolades. And it's a pleasure and a joy to be here with the Sweet Spotters and all the beautiful souls. Thank you.
So, Darcel, this is Slow Down Sunday. It's a time when we slow down, we reflect, we take it easy. We try not to introduce anything new here on Slow Down Sunday. And in fact, Darcel, we sometimes get a little bit, I call it spooky. We get into some astrophysics, we get into what the universe teaches us, and we get into nature and the lessons from nature. And one of the things that we talk about is something that you and I discussed yesterday in Self Care Saturday, is the idea of how hard it is to slow down, how tough it is to be still. In the word, it says, be still and know. There's a knowing that comes from being still. Be still and know that I'm God. There's divine direction that comes from being still. And we were talking yesterday about how hard it is to take a deep breath, to surrender. I call it the three or four S's. There's silence, which is tough to do. There's stillness, which is tough to do. There's solitude, which is tough to do. There's surrender, which is tough to do. And imagine silence and solitude and stillness and surrender, finding a time to allow those forces to have access to who we are is the work that we tackle on Slow Down Sunday. And one of the things we say on Slow Down Sunday is that nature gives us the lesson. The sun rises in silence, it sets in silence, yet it's so powerful. Grass grows in silence, and it's everywhere. The seasons change with a certain slowness. And then in the stillness of nature, we find such peace and joy. And the world seems to be in absolutely no hurry. And yet, Darcel, everything gets done. One of my favorite lines from, I think I borrowed this from Deepak Chopra, is this: do nothing and accomplish everything. Do nothing and accomplish everything. And I know for you that means in 5 minutes, do nothing and accomplish everything for 5 minutes, because I know my sister, I know my wife is not playing games about doing nothing. But there's something about that because we have gotten to a place where we're doing everything all the time. It's frightening to folks to put their phones down, put in another room, and just sit down and be with themselves. Or sit down and have an actual conversation with somebody where you're not looking at TV, you're not looking at the phone, you're not doing a million and one different things, being still, surrendering to the moment, and just dealing with it. What are your thoughts on my lengthy soliloquy here?
Well, not only was it beautifully said, I vibe with it, and you're in the sweet spot. And we all have to find our naturic, slow down, sweet spot. And I love that you mentioned nature and that you do get to the astrophysics on this particular segment on Sundays, because the truth is, we do need that sweet spot of our stillness. For me, yeah, that 5 minutes is sometimes tough to get, but there's another side of me as I've grown older, Dr. Sweet, and that is I'm a beach walker. I'm a sky watcher, and I love, absolutely love the stars and the clouds and a good rain and a good storm and a good sunny day. So nature does teach us a lot. And so everything you said there, I vibe with it because as we all do slow down, and we have to, you are dealing with a book on sleep soon. So most of your fans out there who may not know that you're working on this, that is such a solitude and such an incredible, peaceful part of who we are as humans. Other animals sleep too, they all do. So that's a sweet spot that we all have that is demanded of our physique every single night. When you don't have it, you can't do much. You can't be at your best. You can't do any of the things you and I talked about all week. You can't finish strong. You can't win. There's a lot wrong when you don't get that sweet sleep.
Wow, Darcel, I'm just blown away. Again, only you could say the sweet spot, that I'm in the sweet spot. It's the first time somebody's told me, Dr. Sweet, you're in the sweet spot. And that's what it is here on Slowdown Sundays, finding your sweet spot. What's your sweet spot? What is your sweet spot? Have you found it? And do you even stay in it? Do you even know what it is? And as we think through the universe, as you said, it's the universe is out there. It teaches us. It's always speaking. It amazes me that the carbons and the hydrogens and the nitrogens and all of the various elements that compose the stars and compose the universe is what we're made of. We're fearfully and wonderfully made, but we're made of these elements that are in the universe. And yet and still, it's not that we're in the universe, Darcel. The universe is also in us. And there's a randomness to the universe, obviously. But at the same time, you and I are like two stars that collided. And now we're this kind of supernova in our own world here. We have a new universe. We have our own universe with our moons and our suns and all the various constellations around us. It's kind of cool that this happened. And we're kind of blessed and lucky that we get to vibe like this, that we get to even talk here on a slow down Sunday. And I wonder if it's all about that. It's about the interactions, the connections. Just like the stars align for us, so should we maybe align with each other. So should we maybe align with our higher purpose, maybe align with whatever we call God, the mystery we call God, whatever that is, finding alignment. We just literally, we did a series on alignment on the sweet spot, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you, Darcel. I'm grateful that the stars aligned, that we found each other. I don't think it's just serendipity. I don't think there are any accidents. I think the universe is always speaking and that there's always a purposeful movement. There's such a thing called coincidence, but in mathematics, it's not spontaneous happening. I mean, there's just coincidence. Two things are happening simultaneously. So I'm excited, and I know I tend to go off on these tangents, so forgive me, but I'm just, it's Slow Down Sunday, and we definitely are always marveling, Darcel, at the universe and how it not only holds us, but it teaches us. And I'm grateful that you were here this week. And I'm going to go back and listen to all of our interactions. I'm sure there are things that I missed that I'm going to learn. And slowing down is about doing that. And I would invite everyone, if you haven't reflected on this week with me and Darcel here on the sweet spot, and you want to just spend time doing something interesting, go back and listen. Just go back and listen. And don't listen to what we say, listen to how we're saying it, because I really believe there's the how that's underneath it all. And how you care for yourself, how you speak to yourself, how we speak to each other is also part of the healing, the wellness, and the future you that wants this to really work. So, Darcel, how would you close us out here on Slowdown Sunday as we just free flow into another week?
Wow. Well, I'm glad you used the word free flow. I was thinking as you were talking about slowing down and nature. There's series and when I do slow down, I have to have an entertainment piece in front of me. So that's why I'm really able to watch some of the series I'm watching and some of the movies I'm watching. I can take the time out to allow my sensory to connect with what's in front of me on that screen. And it's full of humans, it's full of stories, it's full of folk going through stuff. So there's one series I just watched called Ripple. And if you're out there listening, you haven't heard of it, look it up because life is a rippling effect. And that's a naturic episode happening. It's also circumstantial and situational. When a rippling effect happens on a lake, you throw a rock and you see wave after wave after wave after wave. It ripples and it just begins to flow, and that ripple just grows. So, a rippling effect in all of our lives, when we slow down enough to catch onto it, it goes back into what Dr. Sweet's talking about coincidence and incidents and situations. So, one action begets another action. And when you have that rippling effect, it's movement, something is happening. So even when you slow down, I would like to leave everybody with understanding life is full of ripples.
Mm,
And
mm.
those ripples connect us to other people's lives.
Amen. As you say that, I'm thinking past, future, present. We divided up into that, but there are ripple effects. We've lost loved ones. New ones have come into the world. There's yesterday, there's today, there's tomorrow. This in astrophysics and physics, there's really no past, future, or present. There's just this dynamic. There's ripples. There's this rippling effects. Rippling effects. So with that metaphysical, very metaphysical ending, we are going to close out the sweet spot here. Our very first interview with our very first guest, inaugural moment, pioneering moment with the great and the inimitable Darcel Dillard-Suite. I know you enjoyed everyone, Sweet Spotters. I know you enjoyed Darcel. I know you did. She is a breath of fresh air. She's spring. And we love you, Darcel. We thank you for your time, your energy, your wisdom. We thank you for your bubbly spirit, your just your honesty, your integrity, all of what makes you you. May God bless you, and I'll see you tonight.
Thank everyone for listening. And this has been the sweet spot, and it's been my sweet honor.
Absolutely. And if you haven't subscribed to the Sweet Spot, now is a great time because we're going to be bringing on guests. And man, we're going to be just growing and growing and allowing the good Lord to lead us where the good Lord wants us to be. Take care. Darcy, what's that thing you say at the end of Wisdom on Wednesday, that how you say goodbye?
Ciao.